Apparently, The View is going to be making a bit of a change up. Abby Huntsman announced on Monday that she's going to be leaving the show. This Friday will be her last day. She is going to be working on the 2020 campaign of her father, former Utah Governor Jon Huntsman. What's interesting is that is what she is saying is the reason. Perhaps it is. But other sources are saying something different. So according to Brian Stelter and Oliver Darcy, Huntsman and Meghan McCain, quote, were allies behind the scenes until recently, but their relationship soured over a recent dispute involving child-centric chats on the show. McCain, who suffered a miscarriage, confronted Huntsman for bringing up her kids on the show. And Abby was apparently sick of being berated by Meghan for perceived slights. She ultimately decided she didn't need this job and it wasn't worth it. So that's a mix of different explanations, but look, everybody gets, even I don't watch the show, and I get that these do not seem to be the best of friends necessarily, these four women.
She can't talk about her kids because Meghan McCain went through a horrible tragedy of having a miscarriage. I mean, that's Looney Tunes talk. If that report is true, it's entirely consistent with the craziness that we've seen from Meghan McCain on that show. And the fact of the matter is that she feels like she's entitled to manipulate the world and the people around her as it is, as she sees it. She's spoiled and it comes across, and that wouldn't entirely shock me. But there's no way, I'm sure that Abby Huntsman wants to pursue other opportunities, but she gets paid, I'm sure, pretty handsomely on that show. So it had to have been pretty bad behavior by Meghan McCain for this to go down.
Yeah, you would think. So look, I wanna throw a curveball at you. So she's transitioning out. If there is news of who's gonna replace her, I haven't seen it yet. And so we have this little window where we could potentially affect them. And because it's such an important show, the woman who fills that slot is gonna be very important as well. For the good of the nation, if not the show, who would you like to see take her spot?
Me.
Yeah? Why? Why do you think you would make a good?
I'm sure they paid me a ton of money, and I'd be progressive, and I'd call them out. So hey, have me on The View.
That was a fast response.
What, John?
That was a fast response. You were ready for that.
Well, I knew the topics ahead of time, and I thought about it. And there's only one candidate that would fit the bill.
Yeah. Can I say who I think should be on?
Yes. In all seriousness.
In all seriousness. So, and this is what I was going to say. I think it should be Emma Vigeland. I honestly do think that, and I was gonna say that anyway. Like, I think Anna would be great, but Anna has to stay on the main show because I can't fill any more than I already am. But no, I think that you would be awesome. And look, I get what they'll say. They'll say, well, this is one of the conservative spots. You can't have a progressive in one of the conservative spots. Well, I will say, first of all, there's never been a progressive spot, so maybe it's overdue. But also, you've spent more time talking to Trump supporters than Meghan McCain has over the past couple of years. I think you have a better understanding of what they actually think and believe. Think about how amazing it would be. And you're younger, you'd bring in a whole new demographic. That's why I want people to tweet at The View, hashtag Emma for The View. And let's make this thing happen. It's not impossible.
It's not, and I live in New York, so easy commute, right?
There is no reason not to have you on The View that I can come up with.
Well, I might just demolish everyone there, but
drama.
I mean that humbly, except for Joy, we'd be BFFs behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I look, there needs to be more progressive voices represented on television, specifically on shows like The View that have so much reach. And so there are a lot of great voices out there. People, Crystal has a great show on The Hill, and it was high time that she got a cable-esque spot, Crystal Ball. But she was on MSNBC for years, and look how long it took her to just kind of get this more mainstream spot, because the media just discounts progressives all the time. And now look at all the success that she's having. So it just goes to show that if you give a progressive voice the necessary resources and the more establishment kind of cable format backing, they're going to be successful. So The View really needs to take a page out of that book. I mean, CNN finally started hiring at least one progressive. They hired Alexandra Rojas, but there needs to be more. This is a huge chunk of the country, and progressive voices, progressive views are actually a majority of the country when you go issue by issue. There's no excuse for that perspective not being more represented on television, and they're aware of it. They just don't really care to change it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, when Anna's on Cuomo, the show is never better than then. And I think that they probably are starting to accept that. That not only does it bring in a new audience, but it just makes for better television. And so again, that's hashtag Emma for The View. Send that at The View and we'll see if we can get this thing trending.
Were you actually gonna do this? Is this why you wanted to do the segment?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God. See,
I think it's a great idea.
I was narcissistic and you were kind, but it evens out in the end.
Yeah. If you just thrown out some other name, it would have made you seem humble and yet deserving. But now I got your back though anyway, despite the fact that you're the most arrogant person I know. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.